What's going on, team? Matt here from the PT Profit Leverage and Lifestyle Show. Now, I'm actually trying something completely different today. Me and my VA have actually been going back and forth around the audio quality of the podcast episodes on Zoom and the video quality. So I'm actually testing this on my phone today. Depending how it goes, I might actually upgrade to a camera and that type of stuff. So I'm just going to see how we go. Talking about organic marketing today. So I'm going to go through one strategy that is super easy to do organically that has worked for me for the last 2 years without fail for both online and obviously business coaching as well, of course. But it's one of the strategies that we suggest our clients do ongoing. It never stops. Okay, so this is like the ongoing marketing strategy. But firstly, quick little personal update. For me, I actually just finished the Alex Hormozy book, $100 million, what's it called? $100 million Money Models. Very good book. Full of tactics. So many different ways that you can model the business. In fact, I probably had a few too many ideas, to be honest. So moral of the story for me is, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I'm not going to change too much of what I'm doing right now. I might make a couple of small tweaks here and there, but very good book. Gives you plenty of ideas in terms of how to make your offer even better, because the offer is the biggest thing, right? If you can solve a very specific problem in a very specific way, it makes it so appealing that people feel stupid saying no, then you're going to be doing very well. So let's get into today's episode. So I want to get into, this is more specific, this is for both face-to-face and online trainers. Remember, face-to-face trainers don't need to do too much in the online space, but if you're an online trainer, 100%, you need to be doing these types of strategies. So I'm just going to give you one strategy that works without fail. So I'm going to talk about Facebook today. Now, I probably use Instagram a bit more these days, or I'm getting better traction on Instagram, but Facebook still has the most amount of users. Okay, so Facebook is still a powerhouse. And for those who are, over 30, like me, you probably grew up using Facebook a lot more than like Instagram and that type of stuff. So, the other platforms are still good their place, but I'm just going to talk specifically around Facebook today. I might touch a little bit on Instagram, but there are two platforms that we use. Now, the first thing around marketing organically, and I say this all the time, you need to be super specific with who you help. You cannot help everyone. If you try and help everyone, you will help no one. I'm sure you've heard that quote before. So you need to get dialed in with who exactly you actually want to help. If it's too general, you're not going to break through the marketplace, right? Because if you're an online trainer, you're competing against millions of other trainers, okay? So how can you stand out from the crowd? What are you doing differently? Why should people go with you than Joe Blow down the road? Or Joe Blow from Sydney, from Melbourne, Perth, New Zealand, US, Europe, whatever it is, okay? So what is it that you do differently? And how can you make content that stands out from the crowd? So the first step is getting super clear on who exactly you actually want to help. The second thing is making sure your profile is optimized in a way that attracts your ideal client. Meaning, is your bio set up to tell people exactly what you do and who you help, and that there's a direct next step for them. So if someone comes across your profile, which I'm going to show you how to get people to do that, what is the logical next step for them? And do you have it super simple for them to take the next step? Okay, because if you don't have that bio optimized or your content optimized, then this strategy won't work as well. So if you got your content dialed in terms of the content that you're making is actually for your ideal client, and it is actually providing value to them. So for example, and we went through this in a previous episode, but for example, you want to make content like how-to content, like how to track their food, how to still lose weight without giving up their favorite foods, all that type of stuff. Then you want stuff about you. So you might share some stuff on your stories or some personal stuff on your feed. So people need to like and trust you. And then you need to share your client results, client testimonials, or your own results as well. It doesn't have to be always client results. It can be your individual results as well. Side note, a bit of a haircut, just quietly. But anyway. So yeah, we need to have the content dialed in, the bio dialed in, before the strategy works in our favor. So before you say the strategy doesn't work, make sure that other stuff is dialed in first, okay? And by the way, team, if you can just let us know in the DMs, if you're actually using more Facebook or Instagram for marketing, I'll be curious. Okay, so let's get into how you do it. So once you've got your niche dialed in, you need to find out where they hang out. Now, I would almost guarantee that your niche has like a Facebook group. Almost guarantee it. Now, if you're a face-to-face trainer, your ideal group would just be in your local community, all right? Because you're trying to attract people in your local area to come to your gym or the gym that you work at, okay? If you're an online trainer, let's just say you help mums, okay? There is 1 million plus groups that are for mums, right? Yeah, Sydney mums, Brisbane mums, Melbourne mums, Perth mums. They're all mums, right? There's so many mums. Or you're trying to help athletes. There's so many athletes groups or sport-specific groups. There's so many of them out there. So you need to find those groups, okay? Find those groups because that's where your ideal client is hanging out. Once you find where your ideal client is hanging out, quite simply, you just need to connect with them. Now, when I say connect with them, all I'm saying is just adding them as a friend, following them on Instagram. That's all you're doing. You're not sending a message straight away, okay? You're not doing this whole cold DM outreach stuff. Now, some other people preach that. I don't do like the full cold DM with no type of engagement at all. So we're not going to just message 150 people a day. It's not how we do it. What we do though, what we do is we add them as a friend and we wait. We see if they engage back. Engaging back is accepting your request or following you back on Instagram, okay? That is an engagement. Don't care what anyone says. They will not accept your request or they will not follow you back if they don't see value in what you're doing. So anyone that says they don't see value in it, they're lying, okay? Sorry, let me just clarify. If they tell you that it's not an engagement, they are lying, okay? That is showing there is some interest. They either like what you do, they like your vibe, or they possibly want to work with you, okay? So once they accept your request or follow you back, then you initiate the first message. Anyone that's just waiting for people to come through, you're going to fail. Unless you've got a huge audience, people are not going to message you often. Some people will message you, but there is not going to be that many people that message you frequently enough for you to have a full-time income, okay? So many people want this like magical world where they have to do no work and people just come to them and they just want to buy straight away. We're in like a recession of trust. People do not trust anyone anymore. Okay, so you need to build the trust. You need to initiate the first conversation. So I'm not going to go into the whole DM scripts and DM formulas and that type of stuff. That'll be for a separate episode. I'm only going to focus on how to actually get the leads. Okay, so we're almost at the end there. So we're going to send the initial message, which is the first initial message is only designed to get a response. So you want to make it quite tailored, quite personal. Now, as I said, I will go through a separate episode on the types of messages that you want to send to optimize your response rate. But let me give you a bit of an idea on the actual stats that are required to grow from social media, okay? So this doesn't take into account people that message you, which there will be some. This is taken into account only the people that you are going to message yourself, okay? So let's do easy numbers. So 100 people, let me get the actual stats up here. So 100 people, or you're going to add 100 people or connect with 100 people. If your profile is set up correctly, you should get 50 people accept your request, okay? Out of those 50, only 30 people will respond. Okay. Now, out of those 30 people, 15 of them will have proper conversations with you, and they'll be open, and they'll talk about their pain points, their barriers, their fears, and there'll be a proper conversation. There'll be like a deep conversation. Out of those 15 conversations, you should be able to get 4 to 5 booked calls from those conversations. 3 to 4 of those will show up, and you should get 2 new clients. Okay, so every 100 people that you connect with, or every 50 messages that you send to the right people, you should get 2 new clients. Okay, so every 1 in 25 people that you send a message to. Okay, so it's not hard, but it is a volume game. Okay, so organic is a volume game. You can, of course, spend money on ads, of course, which is what we do as well. But we're only talking about organic today. Okay, now you can actually automate this as well. You can obviously get a VA to do this type of stuff, which is what I do. That'll be a separate episode as well. But realistically, what you want to do, you want to start at doing like 10 to 20 people a day, ideally per platform, and you want to build up to 50 a day. So the reason why you want to do that is so you can actually have a constant flow of people in the pipeline that you're communicating with, that you're talking to about potentially working with you, okay? And then it's just a nurturing game. And I'm not going to cover nurturing in today's episode. I only wanted to cover how to actually generate the leads. So leads are never a problem, okay? Leads are never a problem. You just need to find where your ideal client is hanging out, connect with them, wait for them to connect back, then send a message, okay? That's it for today's episode, team. I hope you got some value. This is episode 93. We are coming up very, very fast to episode 100. I don't know what I'm going to do for it, so if you got any ideas, or if you want to be involved at episode 100, let me know. But until then, peace out. Have an awesome day, team.